Sam and I are here to talk to you today about the Region 1 budget. We just want to help to unravel what the Region 1 budget is, the main parts of the budget, how the member towns' portions are allocated, as well as the main budgetary timeline, how we draft the budget, and the timeline in which that takes place.
We have 1,300 students across the 6 towns in Region 1. We have 327 resident students at Housatonic Valley Regional High School as of October 1st, 2024. And that's really where our budget process starts in terms of how each member town funds its share of the regional budget. So the Region 1 budget is made up of 3 components. We have the high school component, which represents about 49% of the cost. Pupil services is about 41% of the cost of the Region 1 budget, and the RSSC budget is about 10% of the budget. Those costs and those particular budgets are broken down by the number of students that attend the high school for the high school portion. The pupil services and RSSC budgets, those are allocated based on the total number of students in all 7 schools.
Connecticut General Statute 10-51 indicates that within a school district, a member town's allocation is based on annual enrollment for each member town, which is ultimately taken on October 1st of each fiscal year. The Region 1 budget, it not only is focused on the students currently enrolled in the high school, but it's also focused on providing support specifically through pupil services and RSSC for all students in the district. So it's not only a high school student supportive budget, but it is a district-wide supportive budget for our community.
It's necessary for us to comply with federal and state regulations. We have independent auditors who come in each year, review our books to make sure that, again, we're complying with all the various regulations.
One example of this is the completion of the EFS annual report. We have to provide an upload of every line item in our budget for state review to ensure that we are meeting all compliance standards with every line in our budget. And then we go through an audit process in December and January with state auditors to ensure that that financial report is meeting state regulations for our budget.
We look at our budget really as a spending plan. We're preparing that budget 6 months in advance of the start of a new fiscal year. It starts in October, November with staff developing their budgets. In December, the information is all compiled with the administration, the high school principal, the director of pupil services, the superintendent. In January, we meet with members of our Region 1 budget subcommittee. They review the budget, they meet with staff, they ask questions, they get input and feedback from the staff.
So one aspect of the budget that I think is really important for the community to know is that we follow a zero-based budget model. This specific budget model requires that we are essentially wiping the slate clean every single year. We do a full review of all programs, services, equipment, and supplies for not only the high school departments, but also those district-wide departments of pupil services and RSSC. So each and every request that's presented to us is reviewed to see if it meets the predetermined objectives of the budget while also maintaining fiscal responsibility to the Region 1 community.
Salary and benefits account for about 69% of the total cost. Another driver in the budget is the maintenance, debt service, and utilities, which represent about 17% of our budget, which brings the total percentage of our budget to about 87% of relatively fixed costs with salaries, benefits, and building costs.
We really try to be as transparent with our town officials as possible. One of the ways in which we do that is we present the budget to the boards of finance and the boards of selectmen during the budget drafting process. The budget that is presented to those groups is where the budget is at that point in time and has the ability to fluctuate up until the budget is approved by the board in March to go to public hearing.
We give people the opportunity to come out from our communities to hear what the budget priorities are, to give input and feedback, followed by a referendum which occurs the first Tuesday in May. It's a region-wide referendum. Each person that comes out to vote has an equal vote in terms of the impact on the Region 1 budget.
One thing that I hope the Region 1 community takes away from this presentation is that the Region 1 budget drafting process is a collaborative effort. The budget drafting process takes into account discussions with our budget committee, relevant administration, all of the high school department heads, as well as pupil services staff and relevant RSSC staff as well. This is definitely a community collaborative budget.
Our school acts as not only an academic and learning institution, but it's a place where a lot of things happen after school. We've got tons of student activities, athletics, kids are traveling. They're having a lot of great experiences here at the high school. So we make sure that we're being as fiscally responsible to the taxpayers. But again, ultimately we're here for students and making sure that we meet student needs.
If you have any further questions about the budget process, or you just need additional clarification on anything that was presented to you today, please feel free to give us a call at the Region 1 Business Office. We'd be more than happy to provide clarification or additional information on any aspect of the Region 1 budget.